Whoa, Carolyn. Well, no, where's Carolyn? Hey, we're on live on Pleiadian Express Productions and TikTok. This is Rock and Larry Locken with, of course, Pleiadian Express Productions. How's everybody today? Well, I'm doing okay. It's the day after my 50th birthday. I've got a very special guest. You're going to have a good time listening to her. This is Schneider. She's also known as the Angel Watcher 209 on Instagram. We'll talk about where you can find her a little bit later on, but she's got the most fascinating story. But not only that, I want to let people know, first of all, she's got the most amazing videos of these orbs, of these red orbs. They're gorgeous and they're plentiful, and she's got plenty of video of them. So, Allie, how are you doing on this Saturday morning there in Northern California?
Doing awesome. It's a great day. It's nice and sunny, and but except for
Mm-hmm.
this, the fog was out this morning. The orbs I didn't see.
The orbs you didn't see. Now, you mainly see those at night, right? I mean, your videos are at night, but you see them during the day as well, correct?
Well, I just recently have started seeing them during the day. Yeah,
Okay, which brings me to what I wanted to touch on first. So, okay, have you always been into the spiritual realm, UFOs, things of that nature? Or when you were younger, did you know that you were a little bit different maybe than other people around you? Did you feel different? I mean,
absolutely.
okay.
I always had feelings about people. Like I would have names pop into my head. Like I wouldn't talk to somebody for like 30 years, and then some random name would come to me, and all of a sudden I go on Facebook the next day and that person had passed away, and it's always been like that, and it doesn't just happen once or twice. I'm telling you, this has happened like 20 times, so this is not some
Not
weird
a
thing. It
coincidence.
happens to me.
Oh wow, wow. Okay, so is it just a feeling you get? You'll just go onto Facebook. I mean, do you feel when you look back on those 20 times or whatever, was there a feeling that you had that you can remember that guided you, or were you just guided to go look and there they were?
No, absolutely. It was like told to me. It wasn't a feeling. It's like I was just told the name, like say Joe Blow,
Okay.
and it's in my head, and I just know that it's happening. And I did just kind of randomly go on Facebook because I kind of was wondering. I thought maybe, so yeah,
Yeah.
and I'd see it. So yeah.
And you're never disappointed, huh? Well, I mean, you're maybe disappointed, but it never lets you down. You always seem to, it always seems to be the case, right? That somebody has passed when you have that certain situation happen, like you just said, to go look for Joe Blow.
Yeah, I've always had this where I get feelings, or hear things audibly, and
Hmm.
it's usually like in my head. People ask if it's like around me. No, no, it's not like that at all. It's like a voice in my head, which is not my own, and it
Right.
gives me information. So I'm not sure what it is that I'm connected to. I think it's angels. I think
Yeah.
it's the divine myself. Others might feel a different way about that, but that's how I feel about it.
Well, the orbs would certainly back you up on that. I mean, you get some great video of them, and it's not everybody that gets those. There's a few, but you seem to have no shortage of having them come around, right? They seem to be around pretty constantly. At least you're pumping out video, and your videos are about as clear of an orb shot as you're going to get. I mean, you get some really clear video, and
Well, I
it's just
appreciate
extremely
that.
amazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
And I just love it. I don't know how this fell into my lap. I mean, I guess I do know. We'll go into that. But
Right.
I don't know how I got chosen. I'm so grateful. It's the most wonderful thing I could ever imagine. It gave me a purpose in my life. I had lost everything, and I was sick and everything else. And I started praying, and these guys came to me. So I just
Hmm.
feel like they just were waiting for me to ask for them to come in the door. And they feel like they're friends. You could feel them in your heart when they come. It's
Oh,
like the most
absolutely.
awesome feeling you could ever feel.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. No, I can attest to that totally. Yeah, I can attest when they came into my life, and I didn't expect them to. They showed up. But it sounds like you were putting the thought out there for some guidance or something to come into your life, right? To kind of help you through some troubled times that you were in.
Right? I Can I go into the story of,
Absolutely,
how this
please do.
actually happened?
The floor is yours, girl. Yep.
Okay, well, I got a divorce about 13 years ago, and I lost my dog at 15 and had to have him put to sleep. My cocktail that I had for 25 years died. I lost my home, and I moved in with my sick elderly mom to help her. And then
Uh-huh.
soon thereafter, I had to have my cat put to sleep. Another thing. And then my mom started going downhill, and she soon passed away right after that. After that, my health went to crap. I mean, just fell apart. I always had suffered from breathing problems, but it progressed to COPD. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I was on mega doses of pain medication, all these, pills for depression.
Yep.
It was just went on and on and on. And I had been in a car accident like 2 years before that, so I had, like,
Right.
all this nerve damage down in my fingers where I couldn't sleep, and my hands would, just ache like toothaches. It was just I with the fibromyalgia, you can never get comfortable because you're always moving, but blah, blah about that, but I was
No, I
sick.
mean, how lucky can you get, you know?
I mean, I was, like, in the depths of hell. I mean, what else, I lost everything that was important to me, everything that made me me, I had lost.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So I kind of got to a point where this is okay. I'm going to kill myself. This is not, it's okay. I'm going to just leave here and just leave. I can't take it.
Right.
So I kind of got my pills out on my bed and I got my gun out on my bed. And I know it sounds terrible, but I was ready. And something stopped me. And the only thing that stopped me was knowing that I couldn't be with my family in heaven if I did such a thing. So I
Yeah, you'd
started.
have to come back and redo it, girl. Yeah, we talked about that. Go ahead, but you'd have to come back and redo it. It definitely isn't the way to go.
No. And all I long for is to be with my mom and my dad and, the rest of my family. So I knew that wasn't possible, at least to my Catholic upbringing. That's not possible if you kill yourself. So I didn't. And the only thing that saved me was the Bible. The Bible, I had my grandma's Bible beside me. And I
Hmm.
opened that up and I started reading and I started reading about the angels and I started reading the words that were there on the page and feeling the words that were on the page. Not just going to the next page, but actually hearing what God had to say. And
That's
I
yeah,
realized
refreshing.
then, excuse me?
That's refreshing. A lot of people do just skim through it. I really feel like, I mean, it takes some intensity to really get into it, when you're going through the Bible, there's so much there to
Well, I
cover.
didn't have any other person around to like turn to. The only thing I did have turn to was my faith in God. So, you know, like God and our mother and Jesus and the angels, they became my family. Like really, literally, I went to them, I talked to them, they were my family. So, anyways, so how I started seeing these orbs was after I
Oh,
was reading the Bible couple of days. I went out walking with my dog. It was early in the morning, about 4:30, dark. Walk out to the street, walk down a couple of houses down, and all of a sudden there's this gigantic upside down teardrop over my neighbor's house. It's like this bright light, but it's upside down teardrop. It's about the size of a Volkswagen. It's about 25 feet up from the roof. And as I'm staring at this with my mouth open, it like folds into itself. As it does so, it turns into this electric blue sword. And I had just read about Archangel Michael and how he was the first angel, the warrior of heaven. And he has this electric blue colored sword depicting a ray of protection and strength and courage and truth. And he's sent to shield individuals from harmful negative energies, cutting through illusion and revealing what is real. So I just kind of fell down to my knees and started praying because I knew exactly what this was. That was for me. I knew exactly who he was, and the divine presence of it all was just too much for me to handle. It was
wow.
just like it just filled me up. It filled me up. So the next day, I go walking again with my dog, and all of a sudden, my dog starts peeing on the ground, taking, doing its business. And I just
Uh-huh.
happen to look up, and all of a sudden, there's this huge white, not red, white orb. And then this is probably like about 300 feet up, I would think. Then another one right next to it just appears next to it.
Oh,
The first one blows up into this huge orb and is gone, disappears.
okay.
Then the next one blows up and disappears. And I'm just standing there, like looking around, like there's nobody else out there. I'm like, have my mouth open once again, like, what in the heck was like, what could that possibly be? I've never seen anything like that in my entire life. So it was pretty interesting. And, anyways, so, excuse me. I just started seeing orbs all the time after that. It was like no matter where I was, walking with my
Mhm.
dog, I would see them. I'd see things zigzagging, coming towards me, and they'd come right over my head and zigzag, like
Mhm.
to show me that they knew they saw that I saw them, right? Like we had some
Right.
kind of connection. And it's just the craziest thing because I got this psionics black aurora or aurora black camera. That's what Chris Bledsoe uses, by the way. I have a whole story about Chris. But so I got this camera, and it's got night vision on it. So it it really shows things. Like I am so happy to have found this camera. It brings the light in. It's like night vision, so it kind of uses the ambient light to kind of like bring
Oh,
color to what's
okay.
around. So sometimes when I videotape, you might see things, they might turn like a fuchsia color, all these red orbs, and
Yeah,
I'm saying red, but it
they do
shows.
look fuchsia. Yeah, they do look fuchsia. That's the camera you're using for these orbs, right? Like we discussed, they do. I was wanting to tell everybody they do look fuchsia when you look at the video of them. They really do look a beautiful fuchsia color. Well, could you describe what they really look like though, to your eyes when you're seeing it in real time?
Oh, it's a bright red. Bright
Okay.
red.
Okay.
It is so beautiful. I can't even explain. I don't think any light on earth is like this. It kind of it emanates from it. It's a
It's
beautiful
an energy, right? It's not that it's an overly new color, right? But it's an energy that's coming from that color that's new that makes that kind of it's crisper than maybe anybody's ever seen it before. A lot of these colors that are coming in now they're more like from the angelic realms. They're a crisp. You know what I mean? They're very energetic. It's really hard to, yeah, it is hard to put into words. I've tried to before too to explain it because it's with purple, green, pink, reds. You're seeing it even with yellows, and it's a new kind of an energy with them coming in.
Now I see
It's,
other color orbs too that are not red. They're just they kind of are a rainbow. They almost what they look like to me, and I know people might not believe this, but I think it's Ezekiel's wheel. They look exactly like that
yeah,
to me.
yeah. They're like Merkabas do too. So these orbs, these Merkabas, they're these vehicles, right? And you're onto something with the Ezekiel's wheel thing. I really think that's in essence what what it is. Really, it's something like that. Yeah.
I even think that, like how he explains the wheel within the wheel and the eyes on the outside.
Hmm.
Think about this. The eyes can be shining, and this is what we're seeing. Like that's how they explained it, but it really wasn't eyes. It's just the way that the light is reflecting off of it, like a off of an eye. I think
Yes,
that's what it was.
fascinating.
Yeah.
That's a
So
great articulation of it, right? So, so this has been going on. I know you had talked about a situation with me too, with your grandmother, right? When you saw that black dot. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? You feel comfortable talking about that?
absolutely. So, this was like about 30 years ago, and my
Mhm.
grandmother had been dead quite a while, like 15 years before that. So, anyways, we're in LA, and I'm sitting up watching the Raiders game with my husband. We're sitting on the bed, and all of a sudden, there's this black thing, a black round circle that starts in the corner of the room, and it catches my eye. And as I'm looking at it, it gets bigger and bigger, and I could see that there's people walking towards me within this. Like it becomes like a video screen. Well,
Okay.
it got so large that it took up everything. It was all around me. The room was gone. And all these people, I mean, these people were like young, old, men, women, different sizes, different nationalities, all walking towards me. And just, it's almost like in World War Z where they run, where that one person's standing there and there's all these, the zombies are running past them. It was, they weren't zombies, but they were people and they were just, filing past me. From in between them, here comes my grandmother. And it was so like shocking. I hadn't been thinking about her. I mean, of course, you think about family members, but, she had been dead all that time. And I'm watching a Raiders game. What?
Boo the Raiders, boo the Raiders. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, whatever. Anyway, so my grandma walks up through the middle of these people and gets right up to my face, and she lifts up my chin to look at her in the eyes. My face really in real life went up. This is not like just in my mind, went up. And she looked me dead in the eye and she goes, "Everything's going to be okay." And then she walked off with the rest of the people, just turned and walked off. And then it was gone. I was back there watching the stupid Raiders
It's okay.
football game.
Yeah, it's okay.
And I didn't know. I just was in shock. I just started crying because I felt my grandma's hand. I mean, she was looking right next to me. I knew it was her. And I sat there wondering that I didn't have anything bad going on in my life. There wasn't
Mhm.
anybody sick. Nothing was happening. So I couldn't imagine why I would have such a thing happen. So fast forward a week later, my mom has a massive heart attack and almost died.
Oh wow, fuck.
And the entire time, the doctors are telling me, "Sorry, you're going to have to get your family together, get things, get people here. It's time to say goodbye." And I just was looking at them going, "No, it's not." They thought I was nuts because I was kind of like laughing almost. Like I knew what my grandma was talking about. It was talking about my mother, obviously. And she had said it was going to be okay, so I knew it was going to be okay. And she was okay. She just lived until just recently. So that was like one of the coolest events besides the orbs that I ever had in my life.
So that was 30 years ago. So you're talking, okay, you'd mentioned to me it was about 2 years ago that you started seeing the orbs. So so between that time, in those 28 years or whatever, you were just living life. And then, all of a sudden, not, I don't know like 13 years ago, you said you got a divorce, all of a sudden shit started to unravel, right? And that happens a lot before people have a mass, something happened to them where they had to start seeing orbs and start seeing extraterrestrials and had contact like that, right? Their life really changes in their reality a lot, like in a lot of different ways. It isn't just the orbs come into their life or these ETs come into their life a lot of times. A lot of the times a bunch of shit happens. Unfortunately for you, you had a little bit more than a lot of people do, but most people have at least some or quite a bit of what you went through, right? In their own way, and a lot of the stories are similar. It's kind of strange how that works.
I think like with Chris Bledsoe, he discusses how they always come in times of trouble. It's always, I mean, this
Mhm.
phenomenon is being seen around the world by many.
Yep.
I mean,
More
everywhere.
and more. Yep.
And
More
they're
and more.
all coming from a place of like losing their parent or whatever it is, something horrible has happened in their life, and
Mhm.
they've actually like turned to prayer or something out there. The angels heard them when they were in their despair and they came.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So, I really feel that's the case. Like in my case as well, there was a lot of, I wasn't really, it really drove a wedge between me and the person I was dating at the time. And, they were kind of freaked out by my awakening and having all that happen. And, she was kind of violent and stuff like that. And I almost felt like the orbs came into my life to kind of, put me back on track and to get me away from that situation. I really feel like that now. I've had a lot of years to look back on it and reflect, and it just everything, falls into place when I think about it, right? And I'm sure that when you look back on what's happened in your life, a lot of things make sense now that might not have at the time.
Yeah, well, everybody does go through horrible times. I just happen to get everything like I got
Yeah,
one,
boy.
two, three, pow, knock in the face down on the ground all at the same time. So,
Yeah.
anyways, let me tell you a little bit. So, I kind of went into what was happening with the divorce and everything, and me getting sick,
Hmm.
right? So,
Hmm.
and also after I saw these orbs, I was like, there's got to be other people that are seeing these. I know I'm special, haha, but I'm not that special, okay? So there's got to be other people seeing these orbs. So I jumped online and I just started seeing like gazillions of people, and I come across Chris Bledsoe's story, which was like somehow it connected with my heart because I had had orbs in the house like he had had. They came
Hmm.
to him just like me when he was at this
Hmm.
darkest point, ready to like, leave this earth too. So I had like this connection with him before I even DM'd him. And this is before his book came out. So nobody really knew about him except for us in the UFO,
Hmm.
community. So anyways, I get a hold of Chris. Direct message him and excuse me. He I couldn't believe it, but he texted me like the second right back, like right back. And I started talking to him and we became friends. I explained to him about me having this problem and I was so sick and my mom had passed away. And, you know, I'm not saying this so everybody in God's green earth to go to Chris because I know Chris gets inundated with a bazillion people. And
Hmm.
and a bazillion people try to get a hold of me too because they know I know Chris. And I would never, ever do anything against our friendship that way. So please don't contact me because I'll tell you the same thing. Just contact him through Instagram and see what happens. Just
You're
like I
not a
did.
secretary. Is that what you're telling? You're not a secretary. You're here to officially state that you're not Chris's secretary.
Absolutely not. And I get so many people that actually get angry with me because
Wow.
I tell them that. But and I can understand people are sick and they have horrible things. I understand.
Yeah.
But I am not that person, okay? So anyways,
Hmm.
so with Chris, he was so loving. He said to sit down and I did, and he did a prayer over me through Our Lady. And I swear to you, I felt her. It was it was fire, like a burnt not like burning like it would burn you, but it was so warm and loving and like it started at the top of my head as he was
Yeah.
praying and it went all the way down my body. I could feel it, feel it, feel it. It was
Wow.
just going down, down, down and it shot out my fingers and then it went out my feet and from that day forward, I never ever had pain. It left my body.
Right
That
then and there.
our mother healed me through Chris. And I don't care what anybody else in this world thinks about healings.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have believed such a thing, but I am telling you, I was
Yeah.
healed. I never had to go back to pain management classes or management place. I never had to take my tramadol or my gabapentin. I never had to take any other pills for depression. I never had pain. It was a miracle.
You quit them right away. Did you quit the pills, or did you have to wean off them? Or you like did it
No,
also
I was
for the
bad. I
pain?
was really bad because yeah, you're right. You know all about that. No, I went cold turkey. I was like, I don't need these. And yes, it was hard. You know about that. It
Yeah,
was
I
really
might.
hard.
Yeah, oh, maybe. Yeah, oh my, I might. Yeah, right. No, it really does. Though I was only asking because I know somebody who had an experience like you did, and they were able to. I mean, this person had used the needle and used heroin for a lot of years, and they quit right like instantly. But I think they're a walk-in. I really believe it was one of my former co-hosts, and and it's like all of a sudden she was free of that stuff. But hers was she was able to quit it right away. But yeah, that's. That's pretty crazy though, that your pain was gone, and so you were still taking you were just taking the meds for a little while to wean off of them, right? For
No,
the
no, I stopped cold turkey that night.
cold
Absolutely
turkey,
stopped
but you still
everything.
had, okay.
And
Right,
I
you had a little bit of
never
withdrawal. Okay.
I never needed them again. So they just made me feel numb, and like they never really took the pain away. And it just got to be, I just knew the tramadol and gabapentin was going to kill me in some other way. So, I was happy to stop them. I'm not a good pill taker anyway. So,
Yeah, right. So, the thing with them though, right, especially with opioid painkillers, you need more and more and more of them, right? The tramadol is an opioid base. So yeah, I still take gabapentin, but I don't take any of the other stuff. But I do take gabapentin for my nerve pain, and I know we talked about that. But the opiates really are rough to kick. Very, very hard. I did it with Suboxone, which is a wonderful medicine. But yeah, it does take. What would you say it took you? A few days to get the kind of, so you didn't feel froggy anymore, like you get rid of the shakes, the
no, it
withdrawal.
was more like weeks. I went through a lot of, yeah, it was kind of like going through withdrawals. Yeah, because I was on such heavy doses. So, yeah, it wasn't fun for a while.
But then it just kind of eased up, and then eventually you were like, okay, I don't really need these anymore at all. So it did get to the point of the freedom from you. For you got to you achieved that freedom from them, from that
Yep.
feeling. Okay,
Yep.
wow,
So let me fast forward to this
sure,
had happened like two years ago with Chris, where I met him and he healed me, right?
okay,
Well, let me talk about last Christmas. It's Christmas Eve, and like I said, I live alone, so I have COPD. So when I get sick, it goes straight to my lungs, right? And
right,
I get like hospital like sick. I don't get just sick. So by the time I realized that how sick I was, I couldn't even make it to my phone to call anybody. I was down on my hands and knees. It took me like 20 minutes, honest to God, to get on my hands and knees and crawl to my phone that was charged. It was just right there, but it was so far away. It was like a million miles away. And all I could do was call my best friend, and I could barely even get out the words. Like, she's like, "What's wrong? Oh my God," started freaking out. She calls my cousin in Livermore and gets her on her way over here. So it was like about an hour by the time she got here. And I I almost died. I was blue when she walked in the house. So
okay. Oh,
she
you're in
was
the Bay
screaming.
Area. Okay, you're in the Bay Area, right? Okay,
Yeah. So
okay.
she's screaming and yelling and calling 911, and finally, it seemed like 5 hours later, but here they come in the door, and they're looking at me like, "Holy crap," because I look pretty bad, and it took them about a half hour even to get me stable enough to even get me in the ambulance. That's how bad I was. I mean, I was
Dang, girl,
gasping.
wow. You were close to death then. I mean, it could have. That was touch and go. It's pretty bad if it took them a half hour just to kind of get you
If I
stable
would have
and
been
feeling.
thinking right, I would have called 911 instead of my friend, but
Yeah.
I was just thinking, I have to tell somebody. I have to tell somebody, and that was the first thing I thought. So, anyways, off we go to the hospital, and the doctor was like, "Oh, you're gonna have to be here. You're in real bad shape. We're gonna give you prednisone. We're gonna do all this stuff. Keep you on a breathing machine. Give you treatments every 4 hours. You're at least
Right,
gonna be
yeah.
here. You're at least
Mhm.
gonna be here for, I'd say 3 to 4 weeks."
Oh, fuck.
And this is Christmas Eve, okay? Christmas
God,
Eve. I mean, my life was crappy before, and here's Christmas Eve. So, anyways, I took a chance while I was on oxygen, laying in bed,
uh-huh.
and DM'd my friend Chris again. And it's Christmas Eve, and I thought, he won't text me back. And that sweet man, I'm going to start crying because he's like the most special person in my life. But that man, he texted me right back again. And this time, he told me the same thing, to sit down, and we were going to pray, and but I was already sitting down. And once again, um I felt that feeling, and I knew it was her. And Our Lady came to me again, and she started in my head, and I had the same loving, fiery, beautiful, gorgeous feeling in me. Take it, and I felt my first lung pop open, boom. Then the second one popped open, boom. and then it went out my body. And it was crazy. I could almost feel them. I could feel them popping. It was nuts. Like,
Right.
so I'm like, "Oh my god." From that second my lungs were open and I was like, and I could breathe like a normal person. I threw off the oxygen mask. I felt like $1,000,000. I went from like feeling like I was dying to,
Mm-hmm.
to all this happiness and ready to go and ready to live life. Let's go. I was
Ready
like
to hit
just
the
like that.
town and do a little dancing. Yeah, getting
I put
banging.
on my clothes, Larry. I was
Yeah.
crazy. I put
Would you
my
put?
clothes on. I had my makeup. I put my makeup on. I brushed my hair. I sat up in that bed. And the next time the doctor came in, if you could have seen his face, because I looked like $1,000,000. I went from like death's door to looking like, a regular breathing human being, like all
Mm-hmm.
ready to go.
Wow.
So I amazed him, and he's like, "Oh my gosh!" So I got to leave on Christmas Day,
Okay, they released you the next day. Then okay.
and
Wow.
that was my Christmas Day miracle, and that was my Chris Bledsoe second healing on me. That man is a saint.
Yeah, I've never ran into him before. I've just vaguely a couple times. It's strange we haven't crossed paths because I have a pretty big orb story too. But yeah, I'll have to really look into him and maybe connect with him. Okay. Yeah, it's there's not a lot of there's more and more, but there's not a lot of people out there talking about him. I mean, I was the only one I knew of when I started doing it 13 years ago. Of course, there were others as well, but they just weren't, out in the mainstream talking about it, right? So now
Right.
there's more and more people that it's happening to. I want to go back to something else because Carol and I were talking about on our show Conscious Conversations the other day about channeling and getting this information. When you say it's a voice that comes to you, yeah, to us it's a voice, but it's not like you're hearing something like a megaphone in your head or anything. It's a voice. It's hard to explain for people that haven't had it happen. It's not like somebody's directly like with a loud talk. They're talking to you and you're hearing it, but you're not. But it's not exactly what you might think. It isn't like weird voices in your head talking with you.
It's
You know
not
what I mean?
like and it's not like it's in your ear. You
No, no,
actually
right, right. Yep.
hear it, but it's not audible. It's let's go back to people ask about, do you hear anything with these orbs? Like, is there any
Hmm.
noise? Absolutely not. Absolutely not a sound. It's
Zero.
just, yes. Yep.
Some well, sometimes when they're coming through, but this is when the energy. Sometimes when the energies are real strong, the planet's shifting and shit like that. When we're going through one of these celestial events, sometimes there'll be a vibration in the air, but it's not because of the orbs have nothing to do with it. It's just that during those times too, things from other dimensions are more they come in stronger when the planet's going through really one of these intense shifts. They can flood in a little bit stronger, so there is no sound with the orbs. No, you can converse with them if you have contact with them, but there's no voice that you hear in your ear. It's weird. It's really you'd have to experience it to really get it, I think.
Yeah, it's the coolest thing ever because it's not yourself. So,
Exactly.
yeah. So let me kind of go into something about, I've been trying to show people these orbs, videotaping them, just I threw
Hmm.
it out there just to show people because I feel like that's my calling, and I don't care what you think they are. I think they're angels. But you could call them Palladian, you can call them a sphere, you can
They're
call them a
both. They're
lightning. I
both.
don't
They're different
care.
ones. We could get into what the difference in their look is. Some of them, the angelic ones are more of a smoother. But it doesn't matter their color, but they're more of a smoother look to them. The ones from Star Nations have a whole shitload, like not just a few beings, like hundreds and thousands of them on one of those. They're. It's just different. They're different colors. You're right. They blink different colors. They're like Ezekiel's wheel, though. That was a perfect way to describe it. But they're from. Let me put it this way: they're from higher realms. We'll say that. Okay, they're not from this dimension, of course, and they're not from in the next couple up. They're from up further. You're talking to 8D and higher.
Yeah, absolutely that high. I've had them come down though. I actually have a picture. It was kind of not a very good picture because it happened so quick, and I was trying to grab my camera. But it's like a lightning bolt that came right down.
Mm-hmm.
right down in my
Mm-hmm.
yard, probably about 5 feet off the ground. And it's funny because one of my friends, UFO Artemis, there we go, on Instagram, he got the exact same picture
Yeah.
in his yard. And that brings me to this hitchhiker effect. This hitchhiker effect is real. Like, okay, so Chris had his Azalea Festival thing going on. They had a night watch going on. And when they did, they had all these white orbs come over, like 100 people out on the beach. These white
Mm-hmm.
orbs come down, and all of a sudden they sprouted wings. I know it
Yeah.
sounds so bizarre. And they actually got it on video. So I watched it on video,
Yeah.
and fast forward, like, months. And this is after my mom had passed, so I'm out in the backyard, and this song comes on, my mom's favorite song, Tennessee Whiskey, and
Yeah.
somebody was playing it in the yard, beside me, and I was really upset because that was what I played at her deathbed. So I'm sitting out there, and I'm just kind of looking up in the sky, and Larry, all of a sudden, they didn't fly. All of a sudden, they just appeared. There were like 100 of them, like 100 flying around in circles, like swallows or like birds do. Like you see them in a big round circle, kind of going around in circles,
Mm-hmm.
just like that, like a flock of them. And all of a sudden, believe me, this is real because I even had my glasses on to see. They
Oh boy.
sprouted wings just like the azalea
Yeah.
one, and I was just I was so excited. I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta tell Chris! I can't believe it!" Because I gotta say too, like I have other people like UFO Girly and Orbs Girl and like all these different friends online, and anything they put up, like I didn't know you could talk to these guys and make them light up in the sky bright.
Yeah.
Like do a power up. Well,
Move
thank
around. You
goodness.
can ask them to, yeah, you can ask them to zig and zag, and you can do it. Like if you're not sure, you can ask them sometimes several times over just to make sure it's not just some, weird random shit you saw.
It's so
I've,
bizarre
I've
because
been,
I'd never thought about even doing anything like that, but let me tell you, the second I did, there I mean, I don't have all this on video because sometimes it's just for me. I get tired of videoing sometimes. It's just like I
oh
feel like they're
no,
just for
more,
me and
more,
my
more.
heart. Yeah, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
More, more, more. Yeah, really.
Anyways, where was I? I'm sorry, I got sidetracked.
The
Uh
orb sprouting wings, right? And it led me to a thought is I wonder if that's what people were seeing in ancient times when they described angels, right? But you might be on something. That's probably what you're probably describing what they were seeing when you see these pictures of them, a flock of them with the
well,
wings, dancing around.
absolutely. I have you ever heard of Dr. Diana Pasulka?
Nope.
Okay, she's a religious professor at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington, and
Okay.
she's really up on all this stuff. Okay, she's like the renowned one that you get a hold of if you want information. I mean, she's been at the Vatican. They've allowed her in. She's a very well-known person. And what she's saying is that it depends on when people see them in time whether they're called an angel or an alien. There's
Yep.
so many religious sightings of by the saints, for example, like the Our Lady of Lourdes, Bernadette, and Our Lady of Fatima, and Saint
That.
Teresa of Avila from the 1500s, the Spanish Inquisition, and they all
Uh-huh.
saw a 3 foot shiny being called a cherub. There's
Yep.
Padre Pio and Moses in the burning bush and the Star of Bethlehem guiding wise men and the pillar of fire and the Red Sea parting. This is stuff, if you look through the lens of these beings,
Yeah.
that's what happened. That these are
Mm-hmm.
them.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's all extraterrestrial. Anything that's not indigenous to this Earth plane is by definition an extraterrestrial, and the Bible's loaded with extraterrestrial stories.
Absolutely. And I don't know why people have such hard times with
I don't
what
know.
I'm
I
saying
don't
about
know either.
angels. They'll read it in the Bible, but yet I'm saying
Yeah,
an angel and they look like I'm, look sideways at me. Well, yeah, that's what they are.
yeah, it really does intrigue me. It's kind of like people have a problem. They either want to go with completely a creationism type thought or an evolution thought, when really the two go hand in hand. You know, um, creation creates the effect, so whatever it's created can evolve itself, right, at some point to a point. So they
Right.
really go hand in hand. It's like people not being able to understand the concept that time never really began. Of course, there was a beginning of our galaxy and all that, but creation in of itself is infinite and is timeless. You know, I have trouble with the theory that there could have been a start to it all. Of course, there was a start to our universe, and like I just said, but as far as creation goes, I don't really believe there's a time frame. It's just it just is.
Yeah, I believe it's always been. I just got to believe that. So let me go back. I keep talking about Chris, but like 17 years ago, he was talking about the lady that he saw. Okay. And all of you go
Mhm.
read his book, The UFO of God. Okay. If you would.
Yeah.
It's in every language. It's in Italian even right
Okay.
now, I believe. So, anyways, so um, he said that the lady, our mother, however you want to call her, our lady, Mother Mary, whatever you want,
Whatever. Yes. Yeah.
whatever it is.
Her.
Yes. She said there's going to be a new knowledge coming to the entire world, okay?
Hmm.
And this
Hmm.
this is sup- supposed to happen next Easter. And from what this from what I understand, this is all about what's happening on our world right now with the wars and all this hate. And I mean, every place, every country has chaos. And I mean, there's crime, and there's just like, I mean, everybody feels it. It's a negativity like never before.
Right. It's been burning since it's been turning, but right now there's kind of this coming to a head with everything. You know what I mean? It really is. It's really a tale of two kind of worlds going on right now.
But so our mother, she's coming back, and she when this is happening, actually, he was told that this will happen when the gaze of the Sphinx is on the red star of Regulus, which just so happened that he had friends that were like astrologers or whatever. They had the computer
Hmm.
programs that could put it back and find when this happened or when this will happen, and that
Hmm.
was Easter of this year. So that's what he was told. So, anyways, so she's coming back with her angels to bring love back to the world because we're all like messed up, right? Like God wants us to be in peace. They don't like all the suffering, the deception, and the diseases, and we've lost our way. And they're coming back to show us love and bring us back to the light. And I hope to God, I know that it's true. I hope to God other people believe it's true. This is going to happen. Love will come back. We don't have to be so sad. Quit being sad. Quit being depressed. I mean, my God, we've got this
Yeah, God
beautiful
damn it, get with
life.
it. Yeah, quit being sad. God, knock it off. I know people ought to knock it off already, don't you think?
Yeah, and be nice to one another. Just do what you're
Yeah.
supposed to do. It's not so hard. I mean, I see.
Right.
I don't know what this new generation. I hate saying this, but it seems like they're just full of it worse than I am. I mean, we all feel it, but the
Um,
children, I feel so sorry for because they're not seeing the love. And I mean, I grew up in
well,
the
they'll be
'80s, and
okay.
we had the best
They'll
time. I
be
wish we could
fine.
all be in the '80s.
Yeah, I don't because the technology has done a great thing. It's opened up the world. I would have never met you. You know, I would have never met all those people. You probably never would have met Chris without social media. So
Well, that's
these
absolutely
kids
true.
they're just over it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of misplaced youth, I know, but the majority of these kids are just over this bullshit, and it's going to change regardless. You know what I mean? It's something that's just going to happen, right? It's going to be organic how this is happening. It's happening now. They're here now. The extraterrestrials and angels, they're all here. Most of them are here now or watching really close by. So I really have a lot of hope for this younger generation. I mean, because there's been DNA upgrades, and you're going to see that they don't vibe with the way shit used to be. Yeah,
And
the
I
80s were
believe that
great, but
autism
yeah,
is an upgrade. I think autism is a different type of thing. They've shown that with all these.
yeah, I
What
have
was the
it.
tapes called? Forgot the tapes. Dang it, it's out of my ear. But they have recorded where these autistic children are psychic.
Very, very, yes, indeed. Yeah, my oldest son is. He's autistic and he's legally blind, but he's psychic. He's a clairvoyant. And things of that nature, right? I'm autistic too. I was diagnosed with it. I'm just in the spectrum, but high functioning. Boy, that was fun taking that test. I had to do 24 hours worth of testing. I didn't realize it was going to be that much, or I probably would have never went through with it. But as I kept going, they needed another test and another. You know how that shit goes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. So here's the deal, too. I wanted to put this out there.
Go for it.
Okay, so Chris says there's three different types of people, right, on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
There's ones that can see these orbs,
Mm-hmm.
like us. There's ones that will absolutely never see them because they don't believe, they don't have any thought of God or any light in there. It's just like a
Spirituality, yeah.
zombie. They
Yeah.
won't ever see it. Or maybe it is that they're afraid of it.
Yeah, a little bit of both. A little bit of both, probably.
They might think it's like the devil because there's a lot of
Oh,
Christians
of
that are,
course.
Bible beaten saying these are the fallen angels. And no, they
Oh,
come in
God.
prayer. They're not fallen angels. When
Yeah,
you
no.
see them, you'll know. So just be
Yeah.
quiet, anyways. So, anyways, what was I? Okay,
Oh, and the
so
third one. What's the third one? The third type. You mentioned two.
oh
What's
yeah,
the
the
third?
third type. The third type is you can show them, and then they will see it.
Yep. Yeah.
So if
Well, he's
you're in
right
one of
about
those
that. I mean,
categories,
yeah, well, right. I think that kind of is, yeah, exactly. There is that. I mean, there's a little bit of intricacies between them, and some people are a little bit of both. But basically, what he's saying is right. There's people that are just freaked out by it. They don't want to see it. In fact, there's a block in their mind that will like block them. I mean, if you were to try to take one of those people and show them an orb, it's like they might look for a second, then they look away. Oh, I didn't see anything. I mean, really,
that's
something.
exactly what
It's
everybody
a
has said. That's
strange.
exactly right. Exactly. The one that doesn't believe will not see it, but the 100 other people will.
Right, and they'll just look at it. No, I don't see it. It's right there. I don't see it. Well, I don't. They'll really you can tell they're not wanting to focus on it and really take a good look either. Though they really want to just get. God didn't see nothing. I mean, they already think they didn't see nothing before you show it to them. Oh, I
I
didn't see
have
nothing.
family members that I'm showing them the
Yeah,
video. Okay. They didn't believe me, and I'm showing them those gigantic red orbs, and they're like, uh
yeah.
huh. Well, uh huh. What do you mean, uh huh? Have you seen such a thing in your life? No. So how can you just go, uh huh? This is
Because
extraordinary.
their
This is
mind,
like
they'll
the
try to
most,
make up. Yeah,
yeah.
their mind don't want to see it. They'll try to make up something else. Even if you were to push them, I mean, they might even. Some people, I'm not saying your family, but some people will say, "Oh, it's swamp gas. It's just the air, weather molecules forming together to make this." You'll get the craziest shit. I mean, really, I couldn't even make it up.
So I have been wanting my best friend for the last, 2 years to see these orbs. And she's really religious. She's like me. She's very, we pray every day and
Hmm.
very close to that. So, and I was getting so frustrated because she would come over. She lives, far away, and it would take her 2 hours. And I get so frustrated because I would see him every single day, and she would come, and then they wouldn't be around. Like, what the heck is going on? And this happened for almost a whole year. And I kept
Hmm.
talking to her going, "Carol, excuse me, sorry, used your name. Carol, I know that you're,
I know.
hi, Carol. I know that, you must be afraid or something. You're not telling me the truth.
Hmm.
You're telling me you want to see them, but I think they're," and finally it came out. Yeah, I'm afraid. I don't, I don't know what I'll do if I see them.
Oh,
So I
all
kind
freaked
of was
out.
like,
Uh,
okay, we'll just like stop this because they're not going to come for you. It's like
nope.
they want your
They're
free
coming
will
to
to
take you
decide.
away. Ha, ha, ho, ho. Yeah.
So, anyways, I kept talking to her. Finally, this
Hmm.
happened just about a month ago. She
Okay.
came again, and I was like, "How are you feeling about it this time?"
Hmm.
And she was like, "You know what? I think I'm ready."
Right.
And guess what happened?
What?
Here comes a red orb flying
Yeah,
right
there's
over
the
us.
orgy.
And
Wow.
we were screaming and yelling and jumping in each other's arms like, "Oh my gosh, it's finally happened. Oh my gosh."
Yeah,
And it
she was
just kind of
ready.
went
This was
it,
outside at night, right? I'm setting the scene here. This was outside at night. I'm taking it.
yep, and it just went right over the top of us. So it was like there was
Yeah.
no question that thing was for her. That thing
Right.
came to show her finally ta ta da da. And she
Da-da-da.
Yeah, and she's been seeing them over on the coast too now. When she went home,
Mhm.
she started seeing them. So it goes with you.
Well, yeah, it's the excitement spreads, and then maybe she'll, when she's excited and growing more into it, maybe she'll try to show somebody else or
She already
Um,
has. She already has
oh,
been
really?
taking videotapes and showing her friends. So, yep.
How
It's
I
like,
wonder how that went over. If she's you said she's really devoutly religious, then her friends, some of her friends must be too. I would be curious what they thought of them, or
oh, they're
you
loving
know,
it. They're just all,
yeah,
getting
good.
on my Instagram because I've got tons of videos, so they're all wanting to see it now.
Oh,
So,
wow.
I've got another story like that.
Go for
So,
it.
I have my boyfriend over here,
Hmm.
and I've been trying to show him these things, and at first they didn't show up, and I was like, oh,
Right.
th- this guy, I don't know, there's something here going on with this guy. And it kind of came out in conversation that he
Yeah.
kind of thought this was nuts, like, this was like, he didn't believe in such a thing, I don't
Right.
think. Like, he didn't know how to take it, and I think he's Hispanic, so he comes from like this Christian family that
Hmm.
wouldn't
Hmm.
see it as a good thing. They probably wouldn't like it very much.
No, I can picture it. Yeah, yeah, right. We don't need to go too deep in that, but yeah, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I've dealt with something like that too, but yeah, that's neither here nor there.
So, anyways, I get sidetracked. Sorry.
No,
Um,
it's okay. You're talking about the situation with him, so he's thinking, he's in that mindset where it's like, okay, yeah, whatever with the orbs, right? And then where did it go from there?
okay, so a couple of times. It took about three times, and on the fourth time, he was really into it now because we kind of hashed that out. He no longer thought I was in some kind of cult, and Chris was like this headmaster or something. He was like,
Like Jim Jones, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So he kind of was like, no, I want to see these things. So guess what happened?
Well,
That
hold on. Time out before you go there. Time out before you go there. Are you trying? Okay. Are you trying to have your picture on or your face on camera? I
No, no,
didn't know if
no.
you
I'm
don't.
absolutely not. I just had it up. Sorry.
Okay, great, great, great. Okay, so you had talked to me about speaking of your boyfriend. You had talked to me about how that went down, right? With the orbs, how that how he had his sighting.
Well, that's
It,
the video that I have that says huge red orb because
yeah.
this was the most gigantic thing I have ever seen in my life. It
Okay.
came slowly towards us and came right over us, like 30 feet. No, that's not right. About 100 feet up. And
Mm-hmm.
this thing was an orb, but it was a white orb. It flattened out right over our heads and just hung
Mm-hmm.
there for a while. It looked like a tic tac for a minute, just kind of
Mm-hmm.
sitting there.
Yeah,
Then
that's
it
what they do. They do that. The white ones. I've noticed that too. Yeah, go ahead. But yes, I get
so
what.
then
Yeah,
it
I get it.
it pops back up into the red orb,
Mm-hmm.
sits there. I mean, I've never seen this happen ever. It just sat there in mid sky. It didn't fall. I don't know how this happens, but it just sat right over our heads.
Yeah.
It it was it was no doubt for him. No
Mm-hmm.
doubt. He starts screaming, "Homie, homie!" He's jumping up and down. He's a 6'2" guy who he's like, "Homie, homie!" He's like, "Oh my God!" And we're running around screaming. And it's really late at night. I'm sure the neighbors love that. We have no
Oh,
idea
I'm
why
sure.
we're screaming.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, come see the orbs. Yeah, yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we're screaming and yelling, and this little, I shouldn't say little, this gigantic red orb, it meanders off. It doesn't fly off. It's as if it's a little child, like it got away from the other ones and it came to
Mm-hmm.
play with us. And
Yeah.
it had to go back to its parents because it looked like it was like walking off and like kicking the dirt, like, damn it, I have to go. That's how it was acting because it was like going just a little bit and then stop and turn a little bit and curve a little. It took forever for it to leave, and you could see on that video that I have of it, that was the end part because he had the camera. He's never used the camera really, so he wasn't really videotaping. He had it around his neck, and by the time all this was happening and we're screaming and everything, I grabbed it
Right.
off his neck at the last second and got that of the orb taking off. So,
Nice save. Nice save. That was beautiful. You got that at least. So beautiful. That was a nice save. That's a killer video.
well, thank you. So, the next day I'm in the shower. This another crazy thing. So, like I said, he was screaming, "Homie, homie," the whole time, right? So I'm in the shower, and once again, like that voice that's not from the outside, in the inside,
Right.
wherever it comes from, it says, in an irritated little voice, it says, "My name's Sparkle." And it sounded just
Hmm.
like a little boy. And I knew exactly who it was. It was the orb, the gigantic red orb. His name is Sparkle. It's not Homie. He was irritated.
Now you mentioned the water. There was water running, right? So sometimes I have heard we talk about hearing sound. I have heard things through water. Did it sound like it was maybe coming through the water at all? Because it may
No,
or
it
may.
was
Okay,
crystal
because that happens
clear.
too. Okay.
Crystal clear. I'm an ex teacher. It was a little boy's voice, probably about 10 or 11 years old.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know, right before
Fascinating.
you change your voice, right before you didn't do that stuff, it was that high pitch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. That's fascinating. Okay, because sometimes the water you can hear sound life through the water, but yours was just a typical like you normally get it, right? Even though there was water running, you just heard it like you heard it with that little boy's voice, really clear.
And loud, and it was
Yeah.
like a little kid, like, "How dare you call me a different name?" That's what it was.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He was
So
letting you know what time it was and what his name was, basically.
so his name is Sparkle Forevermore. If you guys see the name Sparkle on on my
Hmm.
pages, you'll know who that is.
Okay.
So I have like two other crazy things that just happened recently.
Go for it.
So Saturday the 26th, my boyfriend came over, right?
Hmm.
Before he gets here, I got something on YouTube saying there was a tsunami in
Hmm.
coming
Oh,
from the earthquake, the 8.8 Russian earthquake. The
yeah,
tsunami's
oh, yeah,
coming
oh, that's
towards
a big scary. Yeah.
Maui. It's on its way. It's going to hit the
Oh,
Pacific
God.
coast. Oh
Typical.
Lord, my
I know,
auntie is
typical.
what?
It's typical. I was going to go on TikTok, and I still might do a talk about it. We get these a lot here on the Oregon coast. These warnings happens all the time, and people freak out and pack their shit and head for the hills, and nothing ever happens. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what, Allie. Seriously, it was calmer than a mofo that night here on the Oregon coast, and I'm right on that, right on this far west coast that you can get on that west coastline that runs, from Canada to Mexico. And man, there was no girl. There was nothing, man.
Let me tell you though, when your auntie is in Maui
Yeah,
and you're saying
yeah,
that, it scared the crap out of me. I texted her and
sure.
I frantically kept texting her because she would not text me back. Okay.
Hmm.
So by the time my boyfriend got here, I'm literally like shaking, like, oh my God, I know. Plus, I have a friend and the surf clinic of Maui. His name's Josh. He lives in
Hmm.
Maui. And so I'm texting, wondering what's going on with him too. And I didn't text him, but I was worrying about him because he has a family there and that's like right there. Right. So, anyway,
Hmm.
anyways, so he asked me, my boyfriend asked, like, where did you see this? Show me on YouTube where you found this. So I go back to my history. I thought it would just be right there in the first thing because I had just seen it. It's
Hmm.
not in my history. I look it up. There is no Russian earthquake. This has
Hmm.
not happened. This was on the 26th that I got all this information, okay? The
Right.
26th. The earthquake didn't happen. The earthquake happened on the 29th, on
That's
Tuesday.
right. That's right. I lost track of days. I was like, that seems it was that far back, the 26th. Okay, now it makes sense. You're right. It was the 29th. Absolutely.
So I go back to show him it's not there. I go
Mandela
back to
effect
look
or
at
what?
the
Yeah.
text to my auntie to show him that I've been texting her. It's not
Hmm.
there. And he's
Hmm.
looking at me like I'm like, "What?
In
What are
your
you
mind,
talking
yeah.
about?" Right? And then
Right.
on Tuesday, the 8.8, I even told them what it was, the 8.8
Hmm.
Russian earthquake. Yeah. So anyways, so that happened.
Hmm.
So then, I mean, there's there's this thing that my best friend and I do. We get triple numbers, okay? This has been going on for years. So we text each other every time we get, 333 or 222 or
Hmm.
111, whatever. We're trying to figure out what this code is because we've been seeing it for so long. So
Hmm.
anyway, so she sends me. one, it's 3:33 in the afternoon. She sends that to me, right? Mind you,
Yeah.
we've been texting for years, so we have on my text,
1:33.
there's like
Okay. Yeah.
a bazillion texts from bazillion years ago, and we text
Mm-hmm.
every day like a gazillion times, right? So
Right.
when I go to look at it, every single text was gone except for 333.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
I know
I
it's
never touched my
crazy.
phone. I did not delete a thing. I didn't do this. So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, somebody's trying to tell me something,
Yeah, they
right?
are. They are. Yeah, I've got 23 my whole life. See, I'm strange. I have 23, and my story would be riveting to tell people. I'm going to write a book one day, but I have with 23, 123, 223, everything with 23 and 23 by itself. It's just fucking mind-boggling. From addresses to birthdays to phone
You
numbers to
drive
receipts.
past a billboard and it's 2222222.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
22222.
23 for
What
me.
the heck? Yeah, right.
Yeah,
So
what the hell? Yeah, I know a girl who's really good at cracking these. Her name's Kirsty Crawford. I mean, Greg Braden would even be proud of her. She's really great she's working on cracking a lot of these codes. And
there's
it's really
got to be codes.
amazing.
I know there is.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh, she could attest to that totally. There is absolutely right. And it's like numbers. Codes are like numbers. We got a lot of light code, tons of light codes coming in. These numbers, these symbols, right? I mean, they're going to start really flooding our existence at some point. As the mass of the consciousness starts to wake up at some point, you'll see more and more of that come in. So it's really like we're really in an exciting time. We're kind of in my contacts have told me from the stars too. We're kind of in uncharted waters too, right? There's nothing really for them to even compare exactly what we're going through too. It's kind of an exciting time in the galaxy for what's going on with us.
Abso-freaking-lutely. So this 333, right? I look
Mm-hmm.
up the meaning. I'm like, okay, there's angel numbers. You can go online and look it up. So what it says is it's so funny because it says a connection with the divine, that I am on the right path, guidance
Mm-hmm.
and encouragement, and that the universe is aligning to manifest my goals and dreams and to shape my future to help others.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, sharing all my blessings and pass along the light. So that was the perfect, like, if they couldn't be telling me, I mean, they just told me I'm on the right path. Everything's exactly as it should be. So
Go with it, yeah.
yeah. So anyway, so I just want to shout it out to the rooftops, off the
Mm-hmm.
rooftops, that this stuff's real, God's real, the mother's real, Jesus is real, and the angels are real, and people wake up, please. Come on. This is good news. Be happy.
I listen to her, people. Yeah, well, yeah. I can't. I'm not gonna argue with that. I mean, I could really go on a rant and go there with you and be like, yeah, wake the fuck up, people. I mean, yeah, I know, I
And they
know.
all they got to do is look up and pray, and they just might be surprised what they see.
Well, that's what I'm always saying, Allie, is I'm always telling people, the first thing they'd have to do if you want them to wake up, the first thing they'd have to do, hon, is they'd have to look up in the sky. They'd have to
Yeah,
look
well,
up.
the thing is, I think that people are so busy in their lives that that's not a normal thing that you do. I mean, you'll see planes, but then you look back down. It's not like one sits there for hours.
Yeah,
Are you there?
exactly.
Oh,
But
sorry.
some people won't. Yeah, some people just don't get it. And like I said, we go back to again, like people not wanting to see it, right? That's the thing is people would have to look not only in the air or in the sky, but they'd have to look past their nose, right? Because they're seeing they're looking at life through about 3 to 5 tenths or 3 to 5 tenths of the spectrum, right? Whereas somebody really awakened like you and I are seeing it from about 8 tenths, give or take. And so there's that difference, and it's almost like you're with them, but you're functioning out of a different dimension, if that makes sense, kind of.
Oh, my life is so different. I used to be really, I got angry that all that was going on. I wasn't a very happy person to be around. And I tell you, I go out and I'm like Mary Sunshine. People are like, how can you be so positive? Because my life is positive. I might be alone, but I'm not alone. I have God. I have everything I want right here. I never even have to leave my house. I have angels. I have friends in the sky. I don't even need anything else. I'm so fulfilled by this and by showing everybody. It's a miracle for me.
They'd probably even bring you a pizza if you wanted one, I mean, really, if you it was
That
really in
big
your heart.
orb could definitely bring a couple of pizza pies. think so.
Yeah, what do you? Yeah, thin crust or thick or medium? What do you prefer there?
Oh, you gotta
Anything that
have
brings.
it's Mountain Mike's thin crust pepperoni.
Well, yeah, we like our thin crust on the West Coast. It's kind of funny. Both the coasts kind of like a thinner pizza, and then in the middle of the country, you get more hearty, the more thicker, like Chicago style pizza. And I'll tell you, I really don't like all that crust. Now, I mean, if it's
I
made
don't
just right,
either. No way. That's
no,
not
I
a
mean, it has
pizza.
to be just a mind blower for me to like it. You know what I mean? I've had a couple, but I would rather have thin crust or medium. Yeah, I don't do all that dough, man. I mean,
Well, if you go to Italy where pizza was made, they make it with thin crust. They do not make it with that big, thick, you know,
okay.
gluten
Yeah, hang on.
full.
You brought up Italy. I got a story to tell you just real quick. So with the Italian pizza over there, I've had five different, but well, four buddies and one kind of associate that were in the military, right? These guys,
Yeah.
well, two of them know each other, but they really don't know each other. And they have told me about Italy and the pizza there. They said, Larry, and I mean word for word, each of these
It's
guys told me, Larry, the pizza would make you sick.
astronomical.
Well, no, they told me it'd make you sick, and I said, what? And they're like, yeah,
No.
dude, yeah, they all got sick on it. They said it just doesn't taste. Something's different about it. You know what? And what they figured is it was probably they're not used to having something so real.
You know
You know
what
what
it
I mean?
was? It was the red wine they were drinking with the
Yeah,
pizza because it's
probably
so
these
dang
guys
strong in Italy that it
they
probably
were
knocked them to the ground in one
Marines.
drink.
Yeah, these guys were Marines. One was in the Navy, but yes, yeah, I'm sure they were sauced. You know what I mean? But it's funny how each of them told me that similar story about, oh yeah, it made them sick because all they were used to eating was Pizza Hut and Domino's, right? Pretty much their whole life, or Papa John's, whatever, American processed fast food pizza.
Yeah, that's
You know,
not real.
no. So I almost thought that maybe it was, and they thought too that maybe it was a shock to their system having it, but they said they really couldn't describe it. It just made them sick.
Well, I didn't get sick. If I got sick, I was eating too much dang pizza over there. That's all I
Okay, so that's
ate.
interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, if I run into one, I'm gonna have to tell them that story. That's interesting. And I didn't really press them either at the time. I was just like, whatever. I was, oh, okay, cool. And I didn't really want to get into how it made them sick and all that jazz. So you're saying it's really delicious. Okay, well,
Well, it might be the fact that I have Italian in me, so maybe it's just in my veins.
do you taste the difference though? Like, is there a difference? I mean, can you put your finger on it? Is it taste fresher? Was it just more vibrant of a taste?
Well, for one thing, they had a different sauce. It wasn't like our sauce. I can't explain
Mhm.
it. It was just sweeter.
Maybe
Um,
that's what did it to them. Okay. Yeah, that's what they said too. They said that it was a real, each of them, three of them said that it was so sweet that they just couldn't take it. Okay. Okay.
it definitely is different, and they use the real parmesan. It's like they actually take
Mm-hmm.
it and like cut it in little thin slices and lay it on there. It's so marvelous, and the parmesan is not like you get out of the freaking
The
at the
shit,
store here, like stop like sawdust.
oh, yeah, the shit you shake on. Oh, yeah, it does come out like sawdust. I'm like, how can you eat that shit on your pizza, man?
It tastes like
Yeah.
sawdust too, and it smells like
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah, I'm getting gaggy hearing it. Yeah, thinking about that shit out of that bottle of shake. Yeah, no, I don't. Crushed red peppers is about the only thing I'll put on there in Tabasco. But
Yeah, I'm a
yeah.
hot one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
Okay. Well, yeah. The pizza, the orbs. Okay. Well, you go ahead. But the orbs love the pizza. Okay, we got it.
so that's pretty much my story. That's
Okay.
pretty much it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there was anything else I really wanted to ask you about it. So okay. Wow. So does this just happen? Have you had a situation where you've put the intention out there for? I mean, obviously you have, but when you've been by yourself, have you put the intention out there? On a night maybe you're bored, you want to go check them out. Have you put the intention, or are they just out there? You know what I mean? Or a
Listen,
little bit of
I
both.
have absolutely, like I said, after I see that other people did it, I'm like, huh.
Hmm.
So I've
Yeah.
got this anti-gravity chair. So I go in the back, get my camera ready, and I played a game. I said,
Okay.
I'm just gonna not look for one. I'm just gonna set my camera in the sky wherever I do and
Okay.
see if they show up. Every single way I moved, there
Yeah.
was one. So it doesn't matter. It's like they knew what I was thinking, so they put on a show. I swear that they do. I've seen things. I know everybody's seen this, but they're like swimmers. They're like
Mhm, mhm.
yeah, they look like a shooting star, but they're not going down. They're going like
Nope.
sideways
Yep.
this way or up or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, they're fascinating.
And they're different colors. I've seen white ones and red
Yeah.
ones and yeah. So the way Chris explains those are the same thing. They're the orbs. They're just, you know, just like
You're
that one
catching
turned
them and
into
you're
a Tic
catching them
Tac.
kind of in flight. Not that they're always not always in flight, because obviously they're up there, but he's right. He's right what he's saying. And some people have caught that on camera when they're in that transition of doing that actually. Um amazing orbs. Her name's Liz Webb. You know,
Oh
she's
yeah,
on
I
Instagram
do.
too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she was really a pioneer at catching those in flight like that. Some of her older pictures, she would catch those moving dimensionally, and just like that, like Chris is saying, they would just like that, and in different colors too, all kinds, and not just what you mentioned, but all the colors you see them glow. When they're in what you perceive their regular orb form, right?
Well,
They are,
well,
it could be any
they're the
color.
same. They're the same orbs that are in your house too. From what
Absolutely,
Chris said. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. They can come down on an orb, and yeah, they can morph down in small. They can morph down in size, right? They can come right in your house. I mean, they're not the size you see them in the sky, but they can morph down and do. They're thousands of years ahead of us. I mean, so of course they have that kind of that's who they are, right? And there's different levels of them too as well. So, but no, none of them are from the devil or from hell. I mean, rainbows are evil. Rainbows, but the
Very
great.
uneducated people say such things.
The great rainbow deception, right? Now, I filmed at 11.
Right. Right.
Yeah, wouldn't it make for a great late night B movie in the 80s, though? Some shitty horror movie where the orbs, the red orbs from Norblat 9, the menace among us, these red orbs.
Yeah. They all come down and attack humanity. Boom, boom, boom,
Attack
are
of
attacking us.
the Killer. Yeah, you're old enough to remember Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, right? It'd be
Oh
something.
yeah, that basically the same thing, but a little bit more round.
Yeah, it would be the same kind of thing, right? Exactly, right? Just a little cleaner, but same kind of thing.
Yeah. None of the juice.
Yeah, right. That's kind of what I was thinking too. The juice, but then it could just get all these people freaking out, running like when those fake drones were coming over on the eastern seaboard, and all these people were freaking out because a flying Monopoly set was above them. Yeah, well,
I
still,
believe that there were orbs up there and they were hiding the fact. They were trying to confuse people by using drones.
the orbs
If
took
you
some of these out. These orbs I contact, they fucking made a move and they took one of those drones. They took a couple of those
I
drones out.
was
Yeah.
just gonna say that. Yeah, these orbs feel like don't play around, folks.
No, they
Don't play
even told me.
games.
They even told me they've never like acted kind of. This was a tense time when that was going on, even with my guides and stuff. And they even told me one time jokingly because they know my sense of humor. They said, if these people down there keep talking about those drones, we're going to give those drones a beat down they'll never forget. And I'm thinking, well, those drones are like material, okay, but they were just kind of joking with me, right? They were
I
going to
mean,
give the order.
how can the government possibly think that some little tiny machine, I mean, even if it's the size of a car or van,
People are
whatever they
stupid.
were,
A
can
lot of the
do
people are still
anything
totally
against
losing.
anything that's divine or anything that's from some other place. We can't
Yeah.
imagine what they are. How dare
No,
you?
yeah, exactly. You know what? And one guy back there, get this. This is how smart some people are. This guy took a shot with a gun at one of these orbs. He shot at one of these orbs.
Well, he better be glad they didn't shoot it right back at him
No
because
shit. I mean, really, yeah. They could have easily burned. They have a way of engulfing an object or an enemy in a fireball and just getting rid of it. It doesn't hurt anybody around. It's really precise, and they do it. But this guy did get arrested for shooting a firearm in city limits, right?
hey, I
So
want these orbs to come down and take all the child predators. Maybe they could take them away.
yeah, give them some, yeah, right. Help them out. You get them, take them, and see if they can finally help humanity discover that gene in there. I mean, that's just another topic for another time, but and figure out what exactly they can do. But these orbs some of them are peacekeeping military fleets, like the ones I contact. Yours are probably from a more of an angelic type of a realm. Mine are from the star realms, but they're still, they're not the devil, and they're not here to take. I mean, I'm trying to think. What are they going to do? You know what would be the movie though? How they would really get everybody is there would be so many of them, Allie. You couldn't move around because the colors they'd be in your eyes. Everybody, these
I
orbs
believe
would just
that's what's going
engulf
to
us.
happen on Easter. I believe that's
What
what's
the
going to
orbs are going to
happen.
engulf everything? A
I
love
think they're
train. They're
just going
going
to
to
come
ride a
out of
love train.
nowhere and everybody, there's
Yeah.
not going to be any denying anymore.
Yeah, right. They'll just be putting on shows in the sky, and I mean, I had this dream that's how it would happen. Is they would be putting on like plays in the sky and doing all these displays, and these idiots in the mainstream media. Well, something's putting on another show tonight. It looks like it's barefoot in the park, or or some play, right? For
Well,
whom the
because
bell
it gets
tolls.
so confusing because they do have all these things they could, do the holograms, they could do but that's the thing,
Project
they're
Purple
trying to
Band.
confuse us. That's the whole deal.
They can, are exactly right. But see, this is the thing: is that we're all part of this big conspiracy because everybody knows that they're real except the United States federal government. How come we've been keeping their secret from them?
Oh, they're full of crap. I don't care
I
what they
know. I
say.
like
They're
to
full
tell
of
people
crap.
that. I like to tell people that, yeah, they are full of shit. I like to say, God damn, everybody knows but the fucking United States federal government. They don't know. They might know. They could know. They possibly do know. We don't know. We do know. Well, we're going to tell you all the truth some of the time, all the time, or all the time, some of the time, half the time.
The government people, they're never going to tell us everything that they know. It's up to us because
No, it
they're
is
all
up to
about
us, and it's just
lies and
gonna
stealing our
happen. Yeah.
money and doing the wrong thing. It's about us out here. Who cares what the government's thinking or doing?
Yeah, because it's not going to come from them, and I would be very cautious if it ever did as to what the fuck they're up to, right? I mean,
Because they
because
are always saying, "Look at this," when something else is going on behind you. Because it's all
you
about
have
that.
all these people saying that this politician, that politician, they're working with that politician. They're maybe working with inside people, but they're not working with these big figureheads that we think of. We don't need to get any names, but they're not about politics. These orbs, they're not about. I mean, they don't. They know
They
about it, but
must
they're
think
not
we are
really.
so ridiculous with our thought
Mhm.
processes down here. We are
Really.
so Neanderthal, and here we act like we're so smart. No, no, no. Our emotional, we are not very good at our emotions. We're all driven by everything that's not good.
Well, we sure are. We go out of our, as not us per se, but as a whole, we go out of our goddamn way to look for something not good, right? I mean, it's just amazing what people do. It would be funny if it wasn't so sad. It's just any little thing possible.
That brings me to something. You
Hmm.
know, I know that there's a lot of people that believe in these orbs and there's a lot that don't. But I really find it
Yep.
very appalling to me when people go on when people are videotaping and showing you what they have taped,
Hmm.
or videoed, and for them to sit there and talk crap about it, like, stay off my page. If you don't want to see it, stay off. I don't
Like what?
I don't
Can you
want to
give me
hear you.
without
It's like,
outing anybody? Can you give me an example without outing anybody? Like for instance.
oh, just like I said, like, oh, these are fallen angels. You think they're angelic? No, they're fallen angels.
Oh
No,
God.
no. I know what they are. You can believe that, but keep your mouth shut on my channel. I'm sorry to be that way, but this is my
Yeah,
channel and
why
I'm
would
all
you
about
come and
light.
do that? See, that's what I get about don't get about people. Like I appreciate their opinion and everything, but their opinion, but I mean they don't what is their goal in coming to your page when you're obviously into them? I mean, if
Because their
anybody's
butts are
obvious,
sitting there doing absolutely nothing,
yeah.
critiquing everybody else. So get up off your ass and do
They,
something.
yeah, they're free to believe that. They could that's hey, that's good for them. But I mean, I don't want to hear it. And then I have to question why they're telling me that. Like I
Well,
haven't thought
question
about
it,
all this
just
stuff in
delete
those
it like
years.
I do, just like it's trash.
Yeah, I do too. All right, fuck with them and ask them what time, when their comedy, when they're going to be going on tour, their world tour starts, and they'd be like, "Huh, your comedy tour you're going on is it's this fall or when does that start?"
I mean, it's like
You
going
know,
on a
so they're
football
telling me like it's insulting
player's
to even tell me.
page and saying football sucks. Really? Why did you have to put that out there?
Right. Yeah, explain yourself, right? If you're going to go into some dichotomy like that, like explain yourself. You know what I mean? Explain why you feel and be very articulate about it. Oh, it sucks. It'd be like we talked about. Remember, because you used to watch football, right? It'd be like somebody saying the New England Patriots in their last decade, oh, they suck. I
Oh
mean, they won
yeah,
six
okay.
fucking Super Bowls, right? But people will say that kind of shit, right? For instance, and it's like, okay, you may hate them and not like them, but man, if that's sucking, I'd sure like my Dolphins to be that good, or something like that, right?
Right.
Yeah,
There's
you
always haters no matter what you do. You could say, God loves you. Ah, they're off like on a hate march. So it's
yeah.
just in certain people. It's not in everybody. That's a very low amount of people, as it
Mhm,
should be. Most people are just so happy. They
mhm.
when they're into such a thing like we're into, like they come wanting to know stuff. So on the
Absolutely
most of
refreshing, and it's
them are
refreshing.
awesome.
Yeah, isn't that refreshing to deal with compared to like some they're fallen angels, oh they suck.
Yeah, because it's more of a community where you don't have to feel like you're being ripped to shreds. You're like amongst friends.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Send them my way, sister. Send them my way. I'm the enforcer. I like putting. I mean, I don't like to, but I don't mind it because it's like I don't mind shutting those kind of people down. Yeah, yeah. So if they got a problem, I got a problem solver.
Well, if I get problems, I just delete them. So it's no longer a problem for me. It
Yeah,
might
there
be
you
for
go.
them.
The wonders of modern technology. Exactly. Well, yeah, it's been a great talk, man. I mean, I had looked forward to having you on and stuff. Is there anything before we go into the closing segment of it? Is there anything else that you really want to share or, let the people know? I mean, I'm going to ask you in a minute how they can check out your work, but is there anything else in this realm that you'd want to do, put forth?
I just once again say, look up, open your heart, ask them to come, and they will come. That's the last
If,
thing I want to say. They are
if,
awesome, and you guys will have
yeah.
love in your heart once you feel it. It's like nothing you could ever imagine.
If there's a true sincerity about what you're asking, absolutely they will. But if you're like, oh God, please come, maybe kind of, yeah,
I
if
got
you're
TV
really,
at 8 o'clock. I got a TV channel to go into.
yeah,
Maybe
right,
it'll be that
right,
way.
whatever's on. Yeah, I don't even know what's on TV anymore. I would say Dallas, but now I'm dating myself. I mean, it hasn't been on the air since '91. So, yeah, coming up next. Yeah, right, exactly. So, Allie, let people know where they can find you. I know you're available on Instagram and now TikTok. Just explain where you can be found, where you would like. If people want to check out your work more, where can they go?
Well, I'm on Angel Watcher 209 for Instagram and for YouTube. And
Mm-hmm.
then TikTok, I just now got up. It's under my official last name at this point, so it's under a different name than Angel Watcher. It's I think it's Stacy. I can't even
Yes,
remember. Do you have it in
it is.
front of you?
Yes, can I do it? Stacy, Stacey, Stacy with an EY, and then a dot, and then Schneider, her last name, Schnei. See, I always get the NE mixed, the I and the E mixed up. Sometimes
It's the German
SCH.
way.
Yeah, go ahead and spell it so everybody doesn't know how great Larry a speller is. I don't want people to get jealous.
Well, Schneider is Schneider.
Yeah, I knew that.
Of
Right,
course,
right, right.
I
Yeah,
know.
like the guy in One Day at a Time. Anyway, that we're dating ourselves. Okay,
Absolutely,
so
that's right. Yeah. Please
yeah,
always
so you're
remember and never forget.
absolutely, absolutely, girl. And it's been a great interview. So, okay, they can find you on TikTok, they can find you on Instagram, and they can find you on YouTube. Now, YouTube and Instagram, it's the same name. It's Angel Watcher, one word, 209. Is it separated on YouTube? Just out of curiosity, or
No,
is
it's
it all?
not. No, it's all together. And also, I'm on Threads. I don't know if a lot of people are on there, but
Yeah, there are.
So there we go.
What are you
Angel
at Thread?
Watcher.
Is
Same
it
thing.
Angel
Angel
Watcher?
Watcher 209 because everything goes transferred over from Instagram.
Yeah, yeah. I'm curious is if you want to share with everybody what was the deal with TikTok? You just weren't thinking to use it, or I mean, I was just curious. I was wondering why you didn't use Angel Watcher 209 on TikTok. You still could, but
Well, the only reason being because you're kind of the one that got me on there, and I set it
Mhm.
up, and I wasn't really sure how to even use TikTok. I'm like a duh on it, so when I set up the account, it just used my name my proper name. So that's why it's what it is, and I can't change it for 30 days. So at some point, it will
Oh,
be Angel Watcher 209, but that's their deal. So and I can't
beautiful. And
stop.
and you know that I'll be there to make sure when the 30 days are up. Oh, have you changed it? Yeah, yeah. Get
I
on
know,
TikTok,
Larry. You're
people.
you're an awesome guy. You're pushing, pushing, pushing. I love
I
it.
know my co-host Carolyn hasn't got it on there yet, and I'm saying, Carolyn, look, if I was in a relationship or something with you, that'd be our biggest problem. Is I'd be pissed because you were on. Get on TikTok. It's you're on that senior citizen home called Instagram. Get on TikTok. Okay, so you're on TikTok. That's great. You got the major players, and you're going to go from here, and you're just gonna see how it goes, right? You're going to take it as it comes.
Absolutely. And come see my videos, guys. I got all sorts.
Absolutely. Listen, absolutely. Check her videos out. Seriously. If you're serious about really wanting to see something, I mean, it's riveting. It's not just the orbs in her pictures. You can see beings in her pictures, elementals like in the clouds. They're everywhere. I mean, if you have an open eye, take a good look and take a good look again if you don't see
And look
anything. I mean,
up. Just
seriously.
look up.
Look to the stars. I heard that somewhere. Where the hell they used to say that? Look up to the stars. Keep looking to the stars.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'd like to say, oh, hey, my co-owner of the Rainbow Orbs page is in the chat room. Hey, Shandy, what's up, girl?
Hi,
Yeah, I can't
Shandy.
type right now. Yeah, it's actually Shandy with an SH. She's Irish. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Hello.
Yeah. No wonder she's such a lush. Anyway, no, I just give her a bad time.
Larry,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
been
yeah.
such a
It
pleasure.
has
I'm
been a
so happy
wonderful,
we got to
girl.
do this.
Okay, well, I'm gonna edit it all up, and I'll let you know as soon as it's done. But it's been really wonderful, and I'd like to say much love to the TikTok family, much love to everybody on YouTube listening, others that will hear this on Facebook when it gets distributed, and of course Instagram. Instagram's another thing. I'll have to divide this up into 15-minute segments, but I'll get that done so we can put it
Cool.
at the senior citizen home.
Cool.
So yeah, okay. Well, I'll just speak real quick. If you want to find out anything that I do, go to one place. It's a Facebook page called Rockin' Larry Locken Social Media Outlets. Now, that's with an E, Rocken, because my last name is Locken. Rockin' Larry Locken Social Media Outlets. It'll tell you all the 5 YouTube channels I have. It'll tell you all the pages I'm involved with. Snapchat, UChat, WeChat, HeChat, hit TikTok, hip hop, bit bop, and it don't stop, and it won't stop, not even at the break of dawn after it goes on and on and on. But I'm on them all, except SoundCloud that I know of. All right, well, yep, for my guest, Allie Schneider, the Angel Watcher 209, I am yours truly, Rockin' Larry Locken, giving everybody a big cosmic dating game kiss, and we're out. Mwah. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. The young people are like, what the hell is he talking about? TikTok is off, okay, and now TikTok. All right, girl, I'll get with you in just a few, okay?
Okay.
All right, and we're out.
I'm going to run
Oh,
use the restroom.